Something that not a lot of people know about me is that I'm fake. No, not fake in a negative way like a backstabbing friend, but fake in a way that I have a hard time showing anyone what my true, genuine feelings are, and I barely admit them to myself. I had many problems as a child when it came to dealing with emotions. I didn't cry, I didn't talk to family or friends, and I didn't truly let anyone into my life. My whole life and even today, I have accumulated what I like to call my jar. Every time I feel something remotely negative, I simply just stuff it inside my jar, close the lid, and pretend like nothing ever happened. The problem is, that jar only has so much space before it will overflow, spilling uncontrollably. My breaking point occurred sophomore year in high school. I couldn't explain my feelings, and I couldn't turn to family and friends because I was too scared. The acting got hard, and I didn't know what to do. And so I wrote my first letter. Hi, my name is Ashley, and I'm your sister. No, we have never met, but that's okay. I know you're in a better place. I wanted to let you know that you were my dream come true. My childhood wish that I didn't realize had become a reality. I never noticed how my mom's stomach started to grow in 2008, and I didn't pay attention to the sudden loss of a belly later that year. I didn't see the despair in our parents' eyes, and I didn't notice the pain they felt whenever I brought up my wish to have you in my life. I didn't know you existed, but how could I? I was only 7 years old. According to Harvard University Health, the act of thinking about an experience, as well as expressing emotions, seems to be important. In this way, writing helps people to organize thoughts and give meaning to a traumatic experience. Through multiple studies, it was concluded that for people who have trouble expressing emotions and talking to others, writing can be a good start, because when people open up privately about a traumatic event, they are more likely to talk with others about it, suggesting that writing leads indirectly to reaching out for social support that can aid healing. This writing could come in many forms, writing with pencil and a paper, or even on a computer. But it's not a short text message or a DM that has no meaning. It takes time, it takes vulnerability, it takes self-acceptance. Because what I have learned, and am still learning, is that it is 100% harder to talk to others about something when you can't accept something or even understand it yourself. And further, it is much harder to go through trials alone. Whether or not it is writing that is your coping mechanism, it is important to have something that can help you process and cope with the trials that will come along with life, especially if you have trouble talking to others. That jar needs to be emptied, but in a healthy way, not just a flood of emotions. Is it possible to miss someone you have never met? Because I miss you. I miss the many fights and arguments we would have had. I miss giving you piggyback rides. I miss playing with toys and blocks. And I miss the long talks we would have had about our lives and our troubles. I miss being your sister. To be totally honest, if you were part of my life, I would most likely be mad at you for something, and at this exact moment, I might even be yelling at you. But instead, I'm writing this. I would rather be mad at you, I would rather have you constantly harass me, than to not have you at all. As I finished my letter, I suddenly was self-aware and realized that I was crying, shedding real and vulnerable tears. I never realized how crying, how truly acknowledging how I feel, could feel so good. After 16 years worth of problems, complications, anger, and pure emotion, this one experience made my jar feel so much lighter. The most important realization I had after I wrote the last line of my letter was that I wanted to read it to someone, to introduce them to my sibling. Writing this letter, as simple as it was, put the situation into perspective, helped me organize my thoughts, and gave me permission to express my true emotions, not only to myself, but also to those around me. Is it possible to love someone you have never met? Because I love you. I love your little hands and your little feet. I love your innocence to this cruel and heartless world. I love the sound that your heart would have made as it beat. I love every little part of you. If you were alive and in my life, I would most likely have said something like, I hate you, about 1 billion times. But that's not true. I would rather have your annoying personality in my life than not at all. I pray that your life in heaven is everything you could ever wish for, that you are happy and satisfied with where you are. Please, though, don't forget about your earthly family, as we have never forgotten about you. There is a hole in my heart and in the heart of my family that perfectly fits you. It is a gap that can never be filled. You are special, you are loved, and we will never forget you. Find your escape, discover your method, empty your jar.